Hello everyone. In this video, we will discuss the concepts of real-time system, that is re-entrancy, round robin scheduling, task priorities and priority inversion. So we will cover these points in this video. Now the outcomes are, after completing this session, student will be able to demonstrate concepts of re-entrancy, round robin scheduling, task priorities and priority inversion. So this point is very important. Now we'll talk about what is re-entrancy. So a re-entrant function can be used by more than one task without fear of data corruption, and a re-entrant function can be interrupted at any time and resume at later without loss of data. So this is what re-entrant function is. Reentrant functions either use local variable, that is CPU, register or variable on the stack, or protect data when global variable are used. So reentrant function can be used local variable or global variable. The same function can be invoked multiple times. So that reentrant function can be invoked by any different task multiple times. So this is the reentrant function. This is string copy function. Simply copy source string to the destination string. So every task can use this reentrant function without loss of data or corruption of data. Now let's say what is non-reentrant function. So we will explain this with the help of example. Now swap is a simple function that swap the contents of two arguments. So this is one global variable int temp, and this is one function void swap. Two arguments are passed. So this code is written for swapping two variable contents. Now for the sake of discussion, I assume that you are using a preemptive kernel. You know what is preemptive kernel and non-preemptive kernel, and that interrupts are enabled. But we are using preemptive kernel, and that two interrupts are enabled at that temp variable declared as a global integer variable. Now we will see what will happen to this function if different tasks call this function having different priorities. So the programmer intended to make swap usable by any task. We can say task 1 will call that function, task 2 will call that function. So figure shows that what could happen if low priority task is interrupted while swap is executing. So that means one highest priority task is executing, one low priority task is executing. Now at this stage, low priority task is using that swap function, and suddenly it got interrupted by highest priority task. So this function is used by one low priority task, and this again is used by high priority task. So what will happen to the non-reentrant function? We'll see. Now after calling this function, this instruction will execute temp equals to star x. Now after this interrupt will occur. Now again some task will call same function having arguments z and t having values 3 and 4. So right now temp value in low priority task was 1, because we have declared x as a variable and value of x will be stored to temp. Now at this stage interrupt is occurred. Now again highest priority task is calling same function by different argument. So this function get called. Now value of temp here will be replaced by z. Now after this temp will have number 3, and after execution of this high priority task again control will transfer to the lower priority task. So at this stage what is the value of temp? That is 3. Now star x is replaced by star y. Now temp value is 3. So lastly, x should be replaced by y and y should be replaced by x. So value of x is 2 after this execution, but value of y is not 2, it is 3. Now we can use some technique to avoid this. So swap reentrant with following techniques. We can use first technique, that is declare temp locally to swap. So we have declared temp variable as a global variable. So declare temp variable as local to the swap function. Disable interrupt before the operation and enable them afterwards. So we can do one task, that is disable all the interrupts before operation, and we can enable it after completing that operation. And third one is we can use semaphore. So these are the three techniques to avoid non-reentrant function. Now what is round robin scheduling? So when two or more tasks have the same priority, the kernel allows one task to run for a predetermined amount of time. Okay, so one task is run for a predetermined amount of time called as quantum, and then select another task. So this process is called as round robin scheduling or time slicing. Okay. Now the kernel gives control to the next task. How? If the current task has no work to do during its time slice. What is time slice is already explained. Or the current task completes before the end of its time slice, or the time slice end. So kernel will give control to the next task for after these three lines. And mu cos, this is normally kernel is operating real-time operating system use everywhere. So mu cos 2 does not currently support round robin scheduling. Why? Because the motto is every task should have its unique priority. Okay. And in this there is no priority. One by one every task is having same time, and after that time task 2 task 3 was executing. So if there is large priority, then that will use extra time. So mu cos does not currently support round robin scheduler. That is most commercial RTOS is using everywhere. Now let's talk about priority. So this is task 1, its own stack, task 2, task 3, task n. It will have its task control box TCB, its status register, stack pointer, priority. Now each task is assigned a unique priority with configurable lowest priority. Now this point is important. Now the lower the value of the priority, the higher the priority of the task. What does it mean? Means if you will give value of priority is low, means 0. If you will give priority to any task, that is 0, that task will have highest priority. So task priority number also served as a task identifier. There are two types of priority. First one is static priority and another one is dynamic priority. So in static priority, priority cannot be unchanged during execution. So that is static. All the tasks and their timing constraint are known at compile time. And what is dynamic? What do you think? What do you think? Priority can be changed during execution. Required feature to avoid priority inversion. We'll see in the next slide what is priority inversion. So dynamic priority means priority can be changed during execution. This word is important, during execution. And static priority means priority cannot be unchanged. So let's talk about what is priority inversion. Priority inversion is a problem in real-time system and occurs mostly when you use real-time kernel. So we will explain all this priority inversion in this way. There are three tasks. Task 1 is having highest priority. Task 2, which in turn has highest priority than task. So task 1 is having highest, task 2 is having middle, and task 3 is having lowest priority. So task 1, task 2 and task 3. Task 3 is running and event will occur. It get semaphore. So what is semaphore? A semaphore is a key that your code acquires in order to continue execution. If you want to continue execution, that is one code, that is semaphore. You will have to get semaphore to continue the execution. So after running the task 3, it will use semaphore to use shared resources. Now task 3 is running with the shared resources. Now one task is there, highest priority task. So task 1 preempts task 3. Why? Because task is 1 is having highest priority. So this will execute, but it will wait for shared resources. Task 1 wants to use shared resources, and task 1 tries to get semaphore, but that semaphore is with task 3. Now again task 3 will continue. Now there one more task arise, that is task 2 with the middle level priority. Again task 2 wants to use shared resources, but the semaphore is with task 3. So task 3 again resume after this one, and after completing the task 3, task 3 releases the semaphore and control will transfer to highest priority task, that is task 1. Now task 1 can use shared resources. So this is how priority inversion works. But the problems are, the task 1 priority has been virtually reduced to the task 3. If you observe this, task 1 have highest priority than task 3, but due to priority inversion problem, task 1 has virtually reduced to that of task 3, because task 1 was waiting for the resource that task 3 owed. So task 1 was waiting for the resource. The situation was aggravated when task 2 preempted the task 3, which further delayed the execution of task, because after task 2 has high priority than task 3. So that's why task 2 was running, but again control will transfer to task 3. Why? Because task 3 is having semaphore and shared resources. So you can correct the situation by raising the priority of task 3. What we can do, we can raise the priority of task 3 just for some time. So that time is the time it takes to access the resource and then restoring the original priority level when the task is finished. So this problem overcome in the priority inheritance. Now, when is really needed to avoid priority inversion is a kernel that changes the priority of the task automatically, which is called as priority inversion. So what will happen if task 3 is having lowest priority and task 3 is using some shared resources. So for some time to complete task 3, task 3 will will be made higher priority than task 1, and then it will complete its task. Then again shared resources will be transferred to task 1. So that will reduce the time delay. and this feature is available in the MuCos 2. So MuCos 2 provides this feature, that is priority inheritance. So let's see how priority inheritance works. We will explain priority inheritance in this figure. Again, task 1 higher priority, task 2 middle, and task 3 lowest priority. Task 3 is executing. Now task 3 gets a mutex. What is mutex? So task 3 is running, but the same time it acquires a mutual exclusion semaphore, also called as mutex. So why it is used? It is used to access a shared resources, mutex. Task 3 is running with the shared resources. Now after this, task 1 preempts task 3. Why? Because task 1 is having highest priority. So task 1 preempts task 3. Now after this, kernel knows shared resources or mutex is with task 3. So task 1 tries to get mutex, but kernel knows task 3 is having mutex. So priority of the task 3 is raised to task 1, so that task 3 will complete its execution and then it will allot mutex to the task 1. Now again task 3 what? It will execute and task 3 releases the mutex and task 1 resume again. So after execution of task 3 it will release the mutex. So after this, task 1 get mutex and it will use shared resources. So this will complete its execution at this point and task 1 is completed. So after that, again control will transfer to task 2 because it is having middle priority. So this is how we can use priority inheritance to avoid priority inversion. So this feature is available in the MuCos 2. So in this video we have discussed 4 points, that is reentrancy, reentrant function, non-reentrant function. Second is round robin scheduling, task priority, in that we have covered static and another one is dynamic, and last is priority inversion and inheritance. So let's move on to the next video.